died that day. For 33 years, nobody knew what really happened. Until someone found the script online. Now we know why even the creators said it went too far. On a chilly night in November 1988, Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David weren't chasing a big TV deal. They just wanted a snack. They walked into a small Korean grocery store in Manhattan, fresh off their sets at the Catch a Rising Star Comedy Club. As they wandered the aisles, their usual riffing kicked in. Larry pointed to a jar of Korean jelly and asked, "Why jelly? Why not foam or spray?" They laughed at the odd items on the steam table. Who actually ate this stuff? Then Larry stopped. He looked at Jerry and said, This is what the show should be. Just this kind of conversation." Jerry didn't jump in excitement. He shrugged. It was a strange idea. A show about nothing? But Larry was serious. What if a sitcom wasn't about big events or cheesy lessons, could be the comedy? NBC didn't ask for that. They'd offered Jerry a one-time 90-minute special. Something to fill a Saturday night slot when SNL wasn't airing. They expected sketches, maybe stand-up. But when Jerry and Larry sat down to write it, they knew it wouldn't work. Their idea was too subtle for a loud variety show, so they did something risky. They tossed the 90-minute plan and wrote a 30-minute sitcom pilot instead. It was filmed on the same soundstage where the Dick Van Dyke Show was shot. Larry took that as a good sign, but Jerry wasn't fully sold yet. The next night, after a gig at the Improv, the two met again, this time at the Westway Diner. Larry pitched it differently. Let's show how a comedian gets his material. That's the real show. That clicked for Jerry. It wasn't really about nothing. It was about the revolution. Larry had another reason to chase this show. He was broke. In 1988, he had no steady job, barely any money, and a reputation for walking out of writers' rooms. He once gave a friend a handful of jokes as a birthday gift because he couldn't afford anything else. But those jokes made people laugh, and Seinfeld noticed. So when NBC called, Larry knew this could be his shot to finally make something real. He bent more than usual, accepted the studio notes, and worked around the clock. The man who once quit Saturday Night Live after just one sketch now had something to prove. George Costanza was turned down by Chris Rock and Danny DeVito. Chris Rock later joked he would have been the black friend. Danny DeVito was too busy making movies like Twins. He didn't want a sidekick role. That left Jason Alexander, a theater actor in New York. He wasn't even in LA when they were casting. He got a few random pages of the script, and to him it read like a Woody Allen movie. So he did the only thing he could think of. He taped an over-the-top Woody Allen impression. Glasses, voice, everything. He figured they'd never call, but they did. They flew him out and said, "We love it. Just tone the Woody down a bit." And Larry to add a woman. Auditions flooded in. Megan Mullally impressed Jerry. So did Patricia Heaton and Rosie O'Donnell. But then Julia Louis-Dreyfus walked in. Within 30 seconds, Jerry knew. "She cracks you up without breaking your nuts," he later said. Julia won 2 Emmys for that role for inflation. That move set the stage for what came next. The cast of Friends followed suit, demanding and getting the same $1 million payday. Courtney Cox later said Seinfeld's deal scared a lot of studios. But the biggest shock of all came when Jerry turned it down. In 1998, NBC offered him $5 million per episode to come back for season 10. That would have been more than $100 million for just 20 episodes. He said no. Warren Littlefield, the NBC exec who had backed him all along, was stunned. He said they made the offer with tremendous confidence, that no one could refuse it. But Jerry did. He told them he didn't have a life anymore. No wife, no kids, just the show. It wasn't worth it. He walked away. He said he wanted to end Seinfeld from a point of strength, and he did. Staring. Larry David threatening to quit wasn't new. He did it often. At the end of every season, he'd say, "That's it. It can't be done again." Jason Alexander remembers how this became a running joke on set. But it wasn't just drama. Larry was genuinely exhausted. Writing a 60-page script in 2 days, 8 months out of the year, was brutal. Jerry once said the work nearly killed them. Larry felt all the pressure. If the show failed, he believed it would be on him. Eventually, after season 7, he finally left. Jerry told him, "Then go." Without Larry, Jerry dropped the stand-up scenes. There just wasn't time to do it all anymore. Wild side and invented unseen characters like Bob Sacamano. But some of his ideas were just too much. NBC rejected several of his scripts, including one about guns and another with racial themes. Later, Charles took that edgy style to movies like Borat and The Dictator, where he had more freedom.